Hey, welcome to Davita's Stampin' Spot. It's Thursday, and I have a project for you today. This is one we made at class this week, and I just love it. So I wanted to share it with you, and I actually had one kit left, so it made it easy for me to share today. I'm going to swing the camera around so we can get started. This project is from the Waterside retreat. And I'm offering a class where you receive this paper as well as cardstock to go with it. So you'll be able to make projects at my house and then take it home. And I actually created so many projects that there's going to be two classes. So I use this sheet a lot. So we'll cut this and use these pieces. I'll show you the projects at the end. So there's this page with the birds and bicycles, the checks here and more birds. I had this upside down, sorry guys. There's just different boats and floats. I love this. I always love when we have paper like that. Some fishing gear and life-saving devices, boat pieces, and then those stripes. And I've made a lot of projects with it, but I made this project clear back in June for the June Technique and Funful class, and then I was sick and didn't get to offer it. So we created the projects yesterday. All right, so let's get started. So I have two pieces that are 2.5 by 4, white and then Misty Moonlight. And this piece I embossed with a So Swirly that is now no longer available. But like I said, I designed this like the end of May. So sorry about that. I think that's the only retired item. This is 2 3/4 by 8.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4, so it's scored in the middle. These are from the Spotlight on Nature dies. I'm so thankful they're still available. This one is the 2 3/4 circle. This one's 3 1/4 circle. Then I've got 3 pieces of designer series paper. I used the waves, which are on the back of the fish piece. This one's a 1/2 by 5 1/4, 1 by 5 1/4, and 2 by 5 1/4. And my card base is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 3/4, 1 1/2, 2 3/4, 4, and 6 1/2. All right. So we're going to start with this base piece. The first 3/4 section is going to be a mountain fold, and then we're just going to go back and forth, mountain, valley, mountain, valley. Grab my bone folder so we can burnish this. I think the Gladies really liked the projects this month because they made awesome cards, but they weren't difficult to make, and I think they really like that. We always like it when we get an awesome wow with very little work, right? I forgot to prime my glue, so let's see what happens here. Oh, we might be okay. The only thing you hate about double-sided paper is then when you glue it down, you're missing one side. This is the second. I should have started the other way. So hang on. I'm going to go ahead and put it down. The easiest way to figure out your pieces is your 1/2 inch piece is going to go on the front. So we're going to start at that first section. Make sure your waves are the correct way. We had one person after she glued it down, she goes, "Oh, I don't know if my waves are the right way." I said, "Well, if you can't tell, that's okay. I'm sure they won't be able to." All right. So then you're going to skip a section and then you're going to do the next one. And this is the piece that's 1 by 5 1/4. All right, swing that around. Kind of sad. I realized that we're about a month away from school starting, and I had so much on my to-do list this summer that hasn't gotten done yet. It makes me really sad. Guess I'm going to have to really speed it up this last month. All right, so that's going to sit like that. We're going to take all the sticky notes off. So this is the one that's 2 3/4 by 8 1/2. We're going to adhere the piece with the So Swirly just to give it some texture on the front, okay? You can use any embossing folder, which is really nice. Like I said, the So Swirly was available when I designed this a month ago. All right, so we're going to put that right there. And then we're going to grab our 2 circles. the 2 3/4 and the three, I think, what was it, 3 1/4, and glue them together. The Post-it notes are attacking today. So the class with this set, so this makes like the 13th or 14th card I've made with this set. I'm just loving it. All right, so when you put this on, you want to make sure that you have your items hanging correctly. All right, and I'm going to just put some adhesive here in the middle because I don't want to get adhesive in the wrong spot. You can choose on this one to center it on here, or you can kind of put it off to the side. I think I'm going to center this one. All right, so there we go. We got our flotation device and then our floats. All right, so this is stamping, so I wanted to make sure I at least did some stamping. So this is the other 2.5 by 4 piece. And I pulled, the stamp set is really awesome. The set, I guess I didn't show you. This is a relaxing Waterside, so it's got the Adirondack chair, the two different sets of greenery. I love that the book and the coffee cup will sit on the chair. You've got Happy Father's Day. Here's to a new chapter. We talked about that at class. That would be neat for someone retiring, or it could be a wedding. Here's to a new chapter. Anyway, kind of neat. And I've got the two different birds, which I really like. And then the dies will cut out that Adirondack chair, but also make another chair. And in my cards, I'm going to show you, you'll see that. And then it's got the two different, oh my goodness, my mind just went blank. The, what do we call those? We've got the greenery, the bird, cattails. There we go. And these are actually the arms that go on the chair, which is kind of cool. All right. So I added a greeting because, like I said, this has a few, but I've already used and stamped "Have a great birthday" and "Today's your day" to put on my card. So I wanted something different. So I grabbed, I think this is my go-to set right now. Phrases and Frames, beautiful bundle. The dies are amazing, but the stamp sets are, or the stamps are really, really great. So definitely put this on your wish list if you don't already have it. So I'm going to do "Have a Fabulous Day" in Misty Moonlight. That's the color of my card base. Do you use your glass mat to line things up? I sure do. So have a fabulous day. And then I'm going to do my bird in gray granite because that's the color of this circle back here. I just think it looks really nice. And I love how the bird fits in right where that greeting is. All right, get those out of the way. And it's going to go on the back of that 2 3/4 by 8. So if you'd like to have the instructions for this sheet, for this project, place a $30 order with me, and I will send you the instruction sheet via email, but I will also send you a card kit so you can make this card because I just think it's really a fun project. You can do so much with it. You're actually going to see how I took this idea and altered it for the class. All right, so we're going to take this piece, put it back here, and it's about a 1/2 inch from the left side. And then I like to stand it up like this and push it down so that it's nice and even with that bottom. And then you have two options. You can hook it to in between the two layers here and have it stand up like that, and it's a little taller, or you can spread it out and attach it here to the front, and then it's not quite as tall and it's a little more pulled in. Okay, so it's up to you which way you want to go. I think I'm going to put this one this way since I did the others the other way, so you maybe can see the difference here. All right, so that's going to go right there. So it's going to stand up like that. So here's the difference in the look. So this one, I have the flap coming all the way to the front, and this one I don't. So you see the whole front here. The ladies had to make one with this paper and one with this. because when I cut these kits, the Waterside was on back order, and I had to just use what I had. Okay, so what I did was I cut out some of the fish, and I did a greeting that says, "Today is your day," and I did "Have a great birthday." So I'm going to take the "Have a great birthday" and put it here. Kind of try to find a spot that doesn't cover up all those fun pieces there. The "Have a great day." I think I'm going to put it on the front since I have that whole strip there. So they'll still see the water. And then I thought, since this had water, we needed to have some fish. So I fussy cut. Unfortunately, there aren't dies for the fish. So you do have to fussy cut. And then the bicycle paper is the same way. You would have to fussy cut. There are no dies. So I want this fish jumping that way just a little bit. And then we'll have this fish swim straight. And I think, since I did it this way, I'm going to put that fish right there. All right. So there you go. I'm going to lay them flat so you can kind of see. There's that one and that one. And then I thought my other one was here from class, but now I'm not seeing it. So anyway, here's two designs. This is using the water, and that's using the flotation devices and the oars. So you can kind of see the difference. This one fans out a little bit more. This one's a little taller. You see that? I line them up. So it's personal preference, really. There's no right or wrong. So there's those. So now for the class. Here are the projects for the first class, and it's July 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Hopefully you're on my email list. So you've already gotten the email with all the details. If you're not, reach out to me. I forgot to put my little thing out. tavitastamps@gmail.com. Let me grab that real quick. I got one under here. Reach out so that you're on my email list. All right, so here's the projects. Here's the bicycle one. Then we're going to make this one, and they're going to stamp their bird the opposite direction from the same stamp. So they're going to learn how to do that. We're going to get to use the phrases and frame embossed with the impression plate. And what's really cool is I cut this out of the DSP, the frame out of white, and then I use this oval over here. These birds, I would say, will probably stamp in gray. I thought the black was a little stark after I did it. So here's this one using the Adirondack chair. I got my book sitting there. This is a fun fold I kind of created on my own that I really like. It's kind of going in an unusual way. Here's what I altered. Look at this one. So I had a bunch of these calendars left, and the chair is out of the die set. So it would set up like this. And I said, what a great reminder to relax. Today is your day. So these are the cards for the first class. And then I will send out the information on the second class. I don't have this email all done yet, but here's the projects for the second class. So here we're cutting out the life preserver, some of the floating devices, cut out some of the fish. And what was neat is I could use fish that were on the edge of the paper because they got covered up. And do you know what this is from? It is the jar that we have right now. So this one I thought was fun. It's got the ice cream. Here we're doing the Adirondack chair with coffee, and then we use the cattails and some of the greenery. This one, just adding the bird, cattails, a little bit different fun fold. Another one with the bicycle. This is the only one that has ribbon. When I do these classes, I try to limit embellishments to help on the cost so you don't have to spend so much. And then here I created my own pillows, so I'll teach you how to do that. Got your coffee cup, and that's one of the pieces in the DSP. So this will be the second set. The first class, you're going to get a package of the paper and 24 sheets of coordinating cardstock. There's 12 colors, so you'll get 2 of each color for $38. I will do a virtual class. If you don't have the bundle and you want it, and purchase it when you RSVP, you will get a second set of kits. So you'll get a second set of all of these. So you can go home and make another bunch of them. And then this class will be the second one. So hope you love this project. I do. I just love adding cards that I can send to people that they can stand up and enjoy looking at. Hope you enjoyed this project. I'll see you next week with a tip and a project.